one of the decisions that I feel, what we made 7 years back, my brand is called Wall 3D. So I'll tell you a story why it is Wall 3D.
Yeah, sure.
So when we started our company in 2016, first we started as a brand called the World of Lilliputians.
Okay.
So basically the brand means, small people, the world of small people coming together to make it a stronger world. And Lilliputians is basically a story of the Gulliver Travels. Where small people come together it's a story that you heard during the childhood days. So with the same concept, what we did is that we used 3D printing, we bought printers. We used to make miniature models of human. So we used to make a 6-inch model, 8-inch, 7-inch, 10-inch as per the customization. And we used to make them as superheroes, the body of a Superman face of me, body of a Superwoman face of you, something like that. So we started with the customization. But in the first 3 months we realized that it's just a small drop in the ocean of the 3D printing tech. Why not we become the ocean itself where there's nobody in it? Why not let's think of more bigger picture of it, what you want to do. And that's where the brand was made, from a World of Lilliputians to Wall 3D.
Okay.
So WOL is basically World of Lilliputians, and we added 3D because a lot of people didn't know what we do. So we thought maybe adding a Wall 3D would add more dimension to what we are doing. And that's how we started, and I think that was one of the biggest decisions from just being a printing company to actually become the ecosystem of 3D printing. That was one of the biggest decisions we took, and I think we have been quite successful in what we've done.
Great to know about it. And wish you luck, more success.
Thank you so much.
Can you share me with an example, like a strategy
Of
how you planned it and how it fell in place?
So, like I said, this technology is very new, and when we bought our first machine, we were of the mindset that whom do we sell it, how do we sell it. So our first customer also has been a difficult task because we didn't know who buys it. So, but from the first day we already had the vision of becoming India's #1 3D printing tech company, which is focusing on consumer as well as industrial grade. And the strategy that we had towards the entire journey is that we have to make sure that we are available and visible wherever a customer will visit. Like I said earlier also, that whether it's online, offline, Google Ads or Amazon or anywhere, we should be visible. So that's one of the strategies that we always follow to make sure that we are visible. Visible in form of tech, visible in form of person, visible in form of team availability, visible in form of overall. So that strategy I think has worked very nice for us, making sure we are visible. And this visibility also made us good partners from international companies who now are they think us as we are partners in company.
That's really nice to know. So whatever conversation we had right now, it seems that you come along with a lot many people together and you like bringing people together, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, I love people, I love.
And also, will you share any of your recent innovations or any projects which you have worked on?
So what we have done is that in the past, our journey has always been either you upgrade yourself or you go into backward integration. So, we started as a 3D printer company, more of 3D printing and all that stuff. And then we started our own manufacturing of 3D filaments. So now we manufacture about a good volume of filaments in India itself, which we plan to export in the time coming. And also, we are catering to the domestic consumption that is happening. So 3D printing, manufacturing of filament was a very good and successful project for us. We also getting into 3D printer assembly where we could make in India printers. Then we are already in the process, we are already doing it, but we want to make it more bigger. And one of our most successful and I think one of the most signature project that we did as a brand was creating the experience center, which is one of the prime things that we have done, and also it is in the center of Mumbai being a business capital, and so much opportunities and things are around, and people want to learn here. Mumbaikars are a lot of learning and they want to grow, right? So I think making an experience center was one of our biggest achievement, and it was always a belief that as promoters we had, and I think with time everything is coming to the right, our decisions are supposed to be.
That's very nice to know. Okay. So moving ahead, how does Wall 3D approach sustainability?
So for me, it is very important that sustainability is taken into consideration because 3D printing tech is sustainable. It's under manufacturing. So when we made this experience center, the idea was to how do you portray it to be sustainable and how do you make it sustainable. So what we did is the entire experience center works on solar. So basically they are using the natural form of energy for electricity. Secondly, during the walkthrough of the experience center, you will realize that they have added a lot of part of nature in it. Like the lights at the ground floor are all based off flower. The center, the masterpiece is the tree itself. We call it the tree of life. Then we have water flowing in the experience center, showcasing how water is important and how you need to make sure that you reuse the water. So that's how we have put a fountain showing that it's a reusability. Also, what we are using material in the plastic manufacturing or the 3D filament, we are using PLA. It's a biodegradable plastic. Also, when you ask me about sustainability and social cause, we also, because it's an experience center, there is no, there's no restriction of who can visit. So we are okay with anybody coming, whether it's a, middle class, lower class, upper class, doesn't matter. For me, the idea is that we should be able to be in a position where we make sure this technology is available for anybody. Innovation is not supposed to be a rich man's game. Innovation is supposed to be for anybody who has a vision or who has the thing of making something new. So, we are open, we give we have donated our machines to various institutes, we give, donation of printers to individuals who we think, are looking and don't have the, capacity to, buy one. We also, help a lot of students who are into robotics, into drone making, into international competitions. There we sponsor them with, like filaments and printers. So I believe that the technology should be available, and that belief we use it in the social cause as well as making sure it's more sustainable for us.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Really nice to know. Okay. Okay. So I have a very interesting question for you.
Please.
So what motivated you to pursue this career?
So, what motivated me is that as a personality that I am, I always wanted to make a brand for myself. I always had the vision that, make something for myself where, people should remember me for a brand like this, or you have created some change or some worth in people's life. And the textile business was good for money, the money was never a restriction in that kind of business, but I felt I want to create something more worthwhile for myself, and that's why we started this company. And also what motivated me is that in 2016, so this brand is more associated to my son. In 2016 December he was born. We started this company in 2016 September. So I relate it to my son itself, where how you basically grow a child or how you upbring a child is how the child will get results in the later years of his life. Similarly, 3D printing or the work we get a brand, we have upbringing him, and also we have nurtured him in a way that we make sure we give the right kind of inputs to it, whether it is ethical behavior, whether it is making the team come together as a family. Everything that you take care of growing a child is what I've done to growing a company. So my son is a person who's inspired me the most. His name is Rahul Chandalia, and he inspired me the most in making this brand much bigger. And that's how that's my biggest inspiration, and that's my inspiration.
Lovely. That's really very nice. Okay, and who has been the most, who has influenced you the most, or been your mentor throughout?
So when I talk about mentorship, there are two people whom I believe. One is from my personal life. Like I think my father, Mr. Rahul Chandalia, he has been my biggest strength, biggest mentor. I think it's a very cliche. Everybody would say my father or mother is my mentor. But I personally feel that everyday basis, because the way he groomed me, the way he gave me a thought process, how a long-term vision should be, a thought process about how to take care of the team, a thought process of what business is about. Business is not only about passion about something. Business is about making sure it makes sense. There is profitability, there is sustainability, there is long life of the brand, and that's all what he taught me. And he taught me that even there are failures, today there will be a failure, tomorrow will come back. So that's what I learned from him in my process of 6 years of working with him. And from the industry, I have one person whom I really look forward. I think he has a very positive approach and charisma that I feel. His name is Mr. Dr. Guru Prasad Rao. He was part of Imaginarium, and he is one of the image where I think everybody from the industry look forward to him. His persona, his personality is very positive. And I would like to share one experience that happened with me once. So we have a lot of 3D printing meetups that happens across India. So I was part of a meetup that happened in Mumbai. There were about 15, 20, 30 people were there in that meetup. And I reached the venue a little late, and the meeting was going on. And so I knocked on the door and I just came in. So Guru Prasad said that, guys, wait, the king of 3D printing has come. and then he told me, hi Rahul, how are you? Please sit. And then he said, okay, let's start again. I felt very warm and I felt very positive that a person of that stature is so down to earth, is talking so like a fatherly figure, and I always look forward to him Also, if there's anything that we look good, anything that we have done, something incredible, I love to inform him or just talk to him, have a small chat. Yeah, I think these are the two people who inspired me. One from the industry, one actually the bringing of who I am.
Yeah, correct. I should say fathers are fathers finally.
Yes, I agree.
So what advice would you give to someone looking forward to grow in this industry?
So, what advice? One advice I would always give is that follow your passion. Whatever you do in 3D printing tech, whether you go into a specialization of something in 3D printing, biomedical, or if you go to specialization of construction or anything, make sure that there is passion to do it. And don't run behind money. Money will come in the longer process. But if you are passionate, if you make sure your ethics or your things are in place, profitability will come. So I always believe that first is follow your passion. Second is always have a long-term vision to the thing that you're creating. Never ever thought to yourself, let's see 6 months पे देखते क्या होता है, let's see 6 months देखते क्या होता है. ऐसा नहीं होता. You should always have a long-term vision. You should think what you want to position yourself. Tomorrow what you want to become. From what you want to become tomorrow, start practicing it today. Automatically you will see that Shah Rukh Khan का dialogue है, पूरी कायनात आपको जो जोड़ जाती है to achieve your goal. I think that really happens. Manifestation works very strong. So follow your passion, have a long-term goal. And also, don't try to win the race alone. I think, some quotes are there which said that, if you run alone, you may run faster. But if you run with a team, you can run longer. So it is up to you whether what you want to do. Do you want to go to a longer path in life, or do you just want to reach one goal? So I feel it's very important to create a right team, value the team, and make sure you give them the responsibility where they are able to achieve what the goal is.
Perfect. Thank you so much for helping me with that. And why do you think that 3D technology should be a part?
I think it's a fascinating technology. It's a fascination that kids should see. And I remember during our days, when I was in a hostel in Birla, we used to have a computer lab. That was so fascinating for us. So wow. I'm talking about 2003. 2003 में computer मिलना मतलब wow, we used to play Dave game and MS Office and all that used to happen. So during that time when the schools had computer labs, we learnt a lot about computer that time. And then we left school and then we started getting computer at home and then it became a part of life. Today nothing can happen without a computer. You need for everything a computer is required. I feel a 3D printing industry is same like the computer industry where 3D printers should come to school. It should be able to act as a, kids should be able to leverage this technology to create innovation, create out of the box thinking. Today in schools or in colleges, kids learn about the syllabus, learn about what it is through the mode of book or book reading or through presentations. But today we have internet, we have everything that a kid can do that. He can do that at home also. But 3D printing tech is something which helps a school to give them more practical approach. Imagine you go to a biology classroom and where when a professor is talking about heart, but actually the professor prints a 3D printed heart and shows that these are the parts of the heart. This is maybe this is the blood vessel, this is this portion, that portion. That's more fun that a student would want to feel. So I feel 3D printing in education is must, and I feel the government is doing a brilliant work today. Having the atom tinkering labs, today having skill development, education, education and travel industry. All these are places where 3D printing is getting used. People are learning how to get skill. People are learning how to learn 3D printing to make the next drone, make the next robot, next innovation, next patent. So I think 3D printing and education will work hand in hand, and it's a long run together.
Perfect. Because what I see today's kids are very innovative, and just looking at the screen, I don't think they would be happy.
Yeah.
So 3D printing works.
Kids are very intelligent. I always tell my wife there. I think my son will send me one day and go. I mean, they're so smart. So giving them the right, it's very important to give them the right thing. Because instead of them getting into some wrong stuff, better to give them something which they can leverage and make it more positive long term.
Okay.